Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fruin Driving Experience. I'm Mac and race 8 is complete, and what a doozy of a day it was. We finished up getting a second again, because we can't get first. It's just not gonna happen. I am going to be the winningless winner ever at this point. But I'm not upset about it. Second place was awesome. It was a well thought out battle for second place. So let's get into it. Practice in qualifying was not good. And the reason I say that is because we swapped over a brake system from my first brake setup because I didn't like how it seemed like the first brake setup had brake fade on it. So we swapped it over to a spare brake setup that came with the cart, and we shimmed it out to 2 shims like it was at the other one. Went out to practice and had 0 brakes, absolutely nothing. We came back and we bled it, we refilled it, we purged it, we bled it, we did everything, and both practices and qualifying I ran with 0 brakes. And I'll tell you what, that is a scary thing, because when you go into the first turn, we ran counterclockwise, full track. You go into that first turn at full speed and you don't have brakes, that's not a good spot to be. That's not a good reality to have. When you go to step on the brakes, it's not going. It is, and we're hitting 50 mile an hour going into a turn where if you don't have brakes, you've got to just jack that cart and hope to just ride that corner around. I literally had to figure out how to drive a cart with no brakes, and it was kind of an interesting experience because I got to learn how to be a little bit smoother in some of the areas, not carry as much speed in, and try to roll through things. So I did learn a little bit about the cart, I will say, after that. But for the most part, to the 2 practices and qualifying was not good. So before we get too far into it, I have one shout out here in the beginning, and that's Blaine. Blaine had an accident that ended up sending him to the hospital. He's doing great, a couple broken bones from what I understand. But Blaine, if you watch this, dude, I want you to understand that don't let something like that push you away from the sport of racing. I've been in that position. I've cartwheeled a cart. I haven't barrel rolled it, so you got me on that one. But I've been in some pretty bad situations too. And you have to make a decision of, hey, I want to do this. I understand the risks, and I'm totally okay with it. And I want you to understand that, buddy, man. It happens to the best of us, but if you can get past it, trust me, it'll be something to remember. But that fear of what if kind of goes away, and racing becomes a little bit more comfortable, because after you had the big one, or something like what you went through, it kind of gets it out of the way, and mentally you get stronger because of it. So from what I understand, he's actually not turned away from it. And in fact, his dad, I was talking to him, and his dad said the first thing that came out of his mouth was like, well, how long is it going to take, and how much is it going to cost to get the cart back up and running? So that's a great sign. That's a great sign. And Blaine, buddy, keep your head up. You're going to come back. You're going to be great again, man. So quick shout out to him. He had an off day there for sure, but get better, bud. So moving on to the pre-final. The pre-final. Yeah, you know, there's really not much that happened in the pre-final that I can really think about to mention. Yeah, no, nothing that I can think about. But I will say this. Once the pre-final started going, it was a good battle. As a matter of fact, I'm going to include the pre-final as bonus footage after this review, because it was a good battle. It was a good battle of the top 3, the top 4 again. And I'm not going to lie, this race was probably one of the most fun races I've had in a very long time. And the reason you'll see it in the main is because we're bumper to bumper, just back and forth. I'm having to, like, I don't know how to explain it besides just letting you see it. And I think you'll understand when you've got that kind of racing going on between the top 3, the top 4, man, that's good racing. It is good racing. So going into the pre-final, we qualified 6th. Like I said, it wasn't great. But considering not having brakes, I considered that a win. So we got lucky with it. We ended up getting 3rd, finishing up. So really happy. Oh, I guess I need to go back. After qualifying in the practices, I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't go into these races without a brake system. So luckily I kept the original brake system with me. And the only thing that I changed was the rear braking system. I left the front reservoir and the lines and everything. I just swapped the brake system out on the rear, and I took out a shim. And what that did is it brought the pad super close to the actual brake, and that allowed me to just think, look, if I can't brake with pneumatics, I'll brake with brunt force of just hammering that lever, and it'll just, yeah, it'll squish together. So we got brakes, and it was awesome. I was so happy because going into that first turn, I was like puckering up a little bit. I was like, oh gosh. And then brakes came in. As a matter of fact, there was too much brakes throughout the race. You can't see it because you're not seeing me, but I was reaching down under my leg and like twisting the brake lever back so that I had a longer throw. It was super far forward where I barely was on the pedal and it was braking. So I allowed the pedal to travel more by making adjustments. So that helped tremendously. My times, I'm not kidding, I went a half a second faster because of that. It was amazing how much faster you can get by slowing down. What? So I ended up getting third and then going into the final. All right. Couple shout outs for this one. The final was a heated, fun battle. It was clean driving, and it was very awesome to be a part of. You know, Alex, Caden, and I, we were back and forth and back and forth. Sometimes Alex and Caden would take off, and I'd have to figure out where my strengths were to catch back up to them. And then they'd get some more distance and I'd catch up to them. And then maybe Caden and I would be back together and Alex would be up front and we'd have to catch back up to him. It was really good, tight, close racing when we were all together. And it was a really good learning opportunity because I could find out where I knew my strengths were, and I could definitely tell where Alex and Caden were pulling away from me. And you'll see it in the footage where they're pulling away from me. And I knew on that inside turn, look, I need to figure something out, because if I can get that inside turn and keep close to them, that is how I'm going to be able to make a pass. And the only opportunity I really had to make a pass on Caden multiple times was the straightaway, as you'll see. So I knew if I could keep close to him, coming around the corner into the straightaway, I'd have that pass. And I did get that opportunity. Now, huge shout out to Caden. Caden, if you're watching this, dude, you handled that absolutely perfect. And this is what I'm going to say is that Caden was on the outside. I had an inside run with an inside turn in my favor. Now, because I was on the inside of the track meant that my apex was going to be super late and wide going out, apexing out. And Caden, huge kudos to you for this. He understood that I was there, so he backed off. He knew my apex was going to be wide. So what Caden did is he backed off, came up high, and then shot back down on the inside of me on the turn. And I want to tell you, dude, that is some awesome driving right there. Like, that is some really good racing etiquette driving that you maneuvered right there. You understood what the situation was. You were the gentleman to let me have that line. But not only that, but you understood and realized that, yeah, sure, he'll have that line, but his apex is going to be way late. And if I back off, go high, and come back underneath him, there's an opportunity where I could overtake him again. So, heck of a job, dude. Like, in all honesty, the fact that you realized that, it amazed me. And total respect, buddy. So, I'm super happy that the front runners have that respect for each other when it comes to turning, for the most part. The next shout out, Alex. He, from what I understand, he's been doing this for a while and he has not won a race yet. And he has been, between his old car and then the new FK that he's running, he's been struggling back and forth, and he needed this. He absolutely needed this, and he earned it. He earned it, absolutely. He was fast. You know, we compare times all the time. You know, we come off a qualifier. We come off the pre-final. What'd you get? And he was fast. And he absolutely drove his heart out for that thing. And I know Pierce is going to see this. And Pierce, you know, your FK is up there at the front. Team green, team teal, I guess. So I know you're going to be super happy about that. Congrats with your FK line up there. So, Alex, buddy, congrats. Very well earned first place. Once you see this footage, you're going to understand that there was no room for error. There was no room for messing up because we were all there. We were all chomping at the bit to get to that spot. So congrats on your first win, buddy. So overall, it was super low in the very beginning because no brakes, nothing, to a complete turnaround of how the day went, and I could not be happier. I am still smiling, and I still watch the footage. I'm like, gosh, dang it. That was awesome racing. So you guys are going to enjoy it. Like I said, I'm going to put the pre-final in as a bonus footage file upload after this. enjoy the final. 2 more races, and the season's over with. So we're just going to keep pushing, try to get one of those W's. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm just bound to determine just always be second. I have no idea because it seems like I like that spot. I don't know why, but it seems to be where I end up. So great time, great people. Blaine, get better. Caden, awesome driving. Alex, congratulations. So we'll see you guys in the next one.